Good evening again. Good evening again. Good evening. The screen. Come on, let's go. Come on. It's stuck right now. Don't know whether to continue. Wow, it stopped on 33. Isn't that interesting? 33. 33. Look at that. How occulted. Come on. Come on. Okay. Yes, having problems with the stream, and it was stuck at 33 seconds for a while. Yes, this is Spirit Journey, and I'm in bed now. This is part two on Blackness. Yes, I did a live stream not too long, not too long ago. Then I had to feed my dogs and eat myself. I am stuffed right now. Yes, so we're all in bed now. And as I was eating, I started understanding, getting insight about what I was just talking about, the significance of those things that are black, black light, black color, and black people. And I mentioned in the part one how I started thinking about it. I was listening to a video of these two young girls, two Caucasians, and they're talking about how to perceive the color of the auras, and they were defining what the meaning behind certain color of the auras are. And they came to black and they said black is not a color. And it's like totally dismissing the power and the significance of the color black. And my being a so called black person took offense, but I knew that the girls, sorry, come on. Yes, it's going on. Yeah, it keeps buffering. But yes, what I was saying that a couple of years ago I did a video about the color black and blackness, and that you hear the expression pure white, pure, whiteness being a thing of purity, of cleanness, of goodness, and things that are black is something evil. So I did a whole video on that. But so where I am today with this, with hearing the video of the young girls talking about blackness, and it really got me thinking about black and blackness and black people, the black continent that they call Africa. And well, I did mention in part one about blackness, what it is. This is just my understanding. I'm not like a scholar. I'm just a regular person. But I was just doing I was doing a meditation before I did the part one video on blackness, and my understanding I started to get insights about it. And so I just want to share with you more thoughts about blackness. Oops, sorry. And again, this video is not about insulting so-called white people. It's not about that. It's not, see, that's all a part of the illusion of the small spectrum of light. Was that 0.1%, visible light? It's a small spectrum. It's a fraction of reality, what you could perceive. And my desire for all races to perceive 100%. And when you see just a small fraction, that's where the distortion really comes in. And perhaps our existence here on this planet come on. Come on, let's go back on stream. This is very important. The numbers on the counter is not moving. And I really don't want to talk if it's not recording right now. Yeah, I don't know whether it's moving or not. Come on, come back on. Let's go back on. Yes, it's still processing the other video. And that, I think that's what the problem is with. Come on. Come on, people. Okay, so it's back on. It's back on now. Yes, I didn't want to talk any further without the counter moving. Okay, so yes, so I wanted to continue on with this topic of blackness. And it's not about slamming any group because those powers are trying to deceive and destroy all peoples on this planet. And yes, it might be using certain groups of people, but eventually it will destroy them as well. This is about enlightenment for myself and others, because we're all being deceived daily. And proof of that is, look what's happening with this so-called pandemic. It's a big one. But yes, blackness. Well, black, as I mentioned in part 1 of my live stream that I did earlier, black is beyond color. Those young girls might have thought, they were just repeating what they hear, like most of us. But examining blackness, it is beyond the color. Just like this what you see now, this is the Manhattan skyline. See how beautiful it is? See, blackness gives definition to light. Black defines light. Black gives shape to light. Without darkness or black, you really cannot perceive clearly because it'd just be one big blur. And so it's very important to have definition in life. You have to respect light. And then I was thinking about the womb. See, there's a poem. I remember hearing it years back on a comedy movie called Back to School. And he says, "Go gently into that good night." It's a part of a poem. But yes, going gently into the darkness, because see, darkness has a quality. When you're living in this 3D life and with the type of eyes that we have, there are creatures out there that can see more of the spectrum. So we have to be very respectful of the darkness. See, we don't respect darkness, we don't respect it. And so, yes, go gently into that good night, because if you walk and not respecting the blackness, you can fall into a ditch. So so the importance of black and blackness and darkness is for you to take your time. Take your time. So it teaches a discipline. You have to be disciplined when you're dealing with black and blackness and black people. You have to take your time. Because if you just go barging through, you can get hurt because you didn't respect the blackness. It is a force that is designed, to my understanding, my insight, for you to take time in matters. It's about incubation. It's about incubation. Like right now, I'm in my room, and what happens at nighttime when you sleep? Your mind is resting. Your incubation. Your cells are being rejuvenated. Your brain is mind is unleashing any tensions or whatever. It's a very, very important time. The darkness, blackness. Without it, you don't get any rest at night. In darkness, you won't be able to live long. In fact, I heard something. I think it was today. They were doing experiments on animals, and they prevented them from sleeping, dreaming, and they died very quickly. So even though they had the food, but they couldn't live. And I think what's happening in hindsight is that it overheated your mind. You have to set it off, because see, our body is a computer. It's a biological computer, and it has to rest. You get overheated. The mind, it has to be released, recharged, with whatever. So where our mind goes when we sleep, it has to get reconnected to that battery source. And where is that battery source? That blackness. That is the battery source. Blackness, I believe, is a battery source of all energy. It houses all potentialities of reality, of existence for every being that's out there in the universe. Without it, none of us could survive. It's a very important aspect to our livelihood. So yes, I love the nighttime, because it gets my body, my mind more relaxed, because it's a necessary part of life. Blackness, black things, is a necessity. You have to shut some things off, and then you turn it back on, and it's refreshed. So like the birth canal. Again, you better respect that birth canal is darkness. And again, you try to do a rush job in there, you're going to have some problems, dude. You better respect darkness, that tunnel of darkness. Yes, it's very symbolic. Respect that. You have to respect your origins. The womb is an origin, it is sacred. And they want people to remove that special part of them. They even try to remove mine. I said no, especially if you're a woman of color. They want to remove. You get a little fibroid, or let's remove it. Oh, we'll take your ovaries too, even though the ovaries are fine, but we could take that out too. You don't need it. That's what they said to me. I said no, thank you, and I walked out. I said, well, I have to think about it, and I didn't go back. I went to 3 different people regarding my uterus at that time. Thank God I did. Yeah, it's something weird. It was a weird event, but it's okay now. But either way, getting back, that see, you have to respect the home of our origins. Yes, things grow in darkness. Your womb is, the seed is planted in the womb, and it grows in darkness. It doesn't grow in light. And darkness houses all potential. That's the main thing. Darkness, blackness, houses all potentialities. And so when you meditate and your eyes are closed, it's blackness. And then boom, where does that vision come from? It comes from the darkness, from black. Black is beyond a color. It is what creates color and vision. It is an energy and a force. And it is what manifests all that is. So even what you're looking at now, the world is all, the planet was all black. And then light was introduced. Even the Bible talks about that. That the world was all black. And then let there be light. What came first? So it's just to re-emphasize the importance. And see, when you start to trivialize your origins, the great mother and father of blackness, you're disrespecting life. You are. You need it. Your source. If you do not respect your source, perhaps life will not respect you, and you won't have a real life to celebrate. And then I started to think about the continent of Africa. They call it the Black Continent. And I'm reminded about certain things that happened with Africa. Now, I did have the opportunity to go to Africa when I was in the military. I went to Egypt. We stayed there for a couple of days. I forgot how long we were there. But it did excite me in a positive way. I remember when I was going down the stairway to leave the ship. Yes, I was in the Navy. And I remember putting my foot on the ground upon going on to, on African soil. And I was so excited. You know, Africa is a big secret to most of us. Why is that continent? It's a very large continent. But there is an obscurification with things African and African people. Why is that? If all humanity and the Western civilizations tell you and teach you that life began in Africa, so why don't they really discuss the continent of Africa to you in school? It has a very strong ethnocentricness on Europe. Even though Europe is a very, very new civilization, even the scientists don't know where white people come from. And no, this is not going to be a video about um, insulting white people. I do not want to go there. But it's just using the vocabulary that's being used, and it's just refocusing so that you pay attention what's really being said, just for opening up understanding. You have to open up understanding. That is my intent here. So why, if they know humanity comes from Africa and they really don't know where they came from, but this making it seem like all history, all humanity comes from Europe? Why is that? Well, if you present the narrative that knowledge and history comes from Europe, then you're setting the focus on you. And if you set the focus on you, then you're presenting yourself as something that's significant, something that's important, something that is to be seen as universal and supremacy. And then you're able to dominate and control others. So I did go to Egypt, and I got to see the pyramids, and I saw Egyptian people. Very interesting. But I never got to see what they like to call sub-Sahara Africa. You know, the Sahara wasn't always a desert. It became. So what if it never became a desert? So what are you going to call the people? You know what I'm saying? It's Africa. Why are they making a distinction between sub-Sahara Africa and North Africa? Again, it's a segregation, and they're redefining for you the importance and the exclusion of certain people. Now, what happened? There was a war that happened a long, long time ago, and North, but all the North, they did it. They were not Arabic. They were not Semitic people. The northern part of Africa, according to the Bible, was from a Hamitic slash black race people. Why don't they teach that? But they want to make you think that the Berbers were the first people. No, they were not. Where did they come from? Where did they come from? They're an addition. But either way, North Africa has a lot of people from many nations that conquered it. Many people conquered North Africa. So genetically, they're a mixed pot, like in the Caribbean or what they call Latin America. A mixture of many different genetics. And then they have a language and a philosophy slash religion associated with that language. And that is what controls modern day North Africa, their religion and language. So one day, about 22, 23 years ago, I used to work in Wall Street area. I did administrative work. I worked in the legal department. But yeah, I started there as a temp. And the lady was very impressed with my work. And she says, "Wow, you're fantastic. You want a job?" I said, "Sure." So she arranged me to be hired on the spot, permanent. And what happened now? Oh, so I went through an orientation for the new employees of the company, and they were showing a map, a world map, and they were saying that we have companies on every continent. So I was like, my ears were perked up because she's going to show on the map where they have their headquarters at. But she never mentioned anything about Africa. She pointed to the different locations. I'm thinking, man, that's a big ass continent. For you to not have a business over there, why don't you have a? I didn't say anything because I knew that I felt that was a taboo question to ask. How could you say you have businesses on every continent? I mean, offices on every continent, but upon telling us specifically where the continent of Africa was excluded. So for me, blackness is about hiding truth in Western civilization. Something about the Western culture has a fear towards things that are black or that continent. And I don't know why, but I can only speculate in this live stream. What is Africa? And why is it hands off. You have people that set up colonies all over, all over the planet. But why is the continent of Africa a big enigma to the world? It is viewed with scorn, mockery, and hatred. And yet, most people, to my understanding, have never stepped foot on the continent of Africa. Why is that? Why the secrecy of Africa? And why do they want you to think that certain popular parts of Egypt, I mean of Africa, such as Egypt, why they want it to be defined as a white country? You said, you know, Spirit Journey, how could you say something like that? Well, I recently had to do a census, and on the form, I did it on the computer, but they did send a form in the mail. But when I was filling out the form on my computer, it asked about what is your race, and they gave examples of certain places and what race you would be. So they said, for example, Egypt, that they would be called white. And I thought, what is wrong with them? How could somebody that looked like what I saw, and I've been there, how could you call them white? And they use all these weird terms. See, the word white, or whether it be black or red or yellow or pink, are just words. But words have meaning, and that's what I'm getting at. Words have meaning. So words are very important because it's what defines our understanding of things. It's not the actual reality of things, it's what it represents that is significant in this situation. So it's very irrational to call someone who's dark skinned, African like features, that they are a mixed group, and to define them as white. But someone could look the same way here in America and they'll be called black. So what is the logic? See, the people who are controlling the planet and your reality are psychotic. They make no sense. Well, cognitive dissonance. They can call something that is fat and say it's skinny, and those that are skinny fat. They are out of control, and they're using this as a psychology to define the way you think and feel about yourself. To call Egypt a white country, even though the bulk of the people are brown-skinned people, they were the same color as me, and some of them were jet black, and some of them were light. But the bulk of the people, when I went to Cairo, I was on the way to Cairo, taking a bus from Alexandria to Cairo. It was like a bridge or something, and that's when I saw all these people walking about, all men. Yeah, the men go out at a certain time. They hang out outside. No women. All the women inside. And they were all brown-skinned people. It's a sickness. They are delusional. And the same type of people that want you to be afraid of the common cold, even though prior years People didn't require the muzzle on their face or the diaper on their face, and that this diaper is supposed to prevent something that doesn't prevent. And now they're presenting this jab that is known for killing people. And now they want to put that in children who are between the age of 5 and 11. And did you hear that they are going to give that in New York City where I live, they want the mayor said we're going to give debit cards to 5 and 11-year olds worth $100. They are pimping our children. Hey, you do this trick for me, and I'll give you $100. And you know, some parents want to pimp out their children to get that money and spend it on partying and getting their hair and nails done or their drugs. Hello? Hello, people. So, why is that? Why is there a reverse on logic? The least affected of this sickness, they have the least, they're the smallest demographics for getting sick with this type of pathogen. And now they're targeting them. And now many of them, people are dying. Hear all those sports people, soccer, football, they're like dropping dead on the field. And even though reality is telling you one thing, but you're saying something else. And they even want you to believe that some men are women, even though everything about them is male. And to teach you that you're offending them, to call them contrary to what they want you to tell them. So again, it's done to distort what real reality is. This distortion that yes is no, no is yes, up is down, and down is up. Even though reality, see, they're trying to blur reality and to create a new vision for you. And what are they going to be introducing? What did that guy on Facebook, metaverse? I think that's what it's called, metaverse. It's a virtual reality platform that you can interact with other people on virtual reality. So again, it's introducing a new false reality that you be trapped in, and you'll have no real desire for reality because see, they're going to make it so intense. They know what your senses like, and they can intensify like a TV set. You can intensify the colors, you can intensify the sound. So it's intensifying your experience with this electrical device. That is the goal, to have a complete shifting of your 3D world reality to a fake cyber reality. It is phony. And you won't be safe in there because, see, you have people who control it. And they're going to, I believe, I can only speculate, but I believe that they're going to use it to enslave you in it. It is to house your soul And then once they like a genie in a bottle, you know what the genie in the bottle is? It's someone's soul. And you notice that that genie in the bottle, like a Aladdin's lamp, what color is that man? What is he really? He's a slave who had a lot of slaves. The Arab world. Do you know there are a lot of black peoples in the so-called Arab world? There are black people in Saudi Arabia. Now, I don't know the deep history of Saudi Arabia. I don't want to pretend I do. But I saw in a video, like the behind the scenes of Saudi Arabia, they have all black neighborhoods there. They're in utter poverty. I was shocked. And you know what I think? That those are the indigenous people of that land. But they squashed them to live in these little ghettos. It was unbelievable. Why this hatred? The Arabs that you see, that they're not the original people from there. Remember in the Bible that the Semitic race left and migrated over into all that world, and then with Islam, it spread its influence all over. So anybody who's listening hears this part of this video, I hope you could maybe write something in the comment section, or when once this live stream uploads, to put it in the comment area if you know. But yes, yeah, if you know about the origins, who are the first inhabitants of Saudi Arabia, those black people living there, are these people, were they human trafficked into that area by what they call the Arabs, or were they already there and were put into these ghettos out there? See, the whole game is to distort reality, everything about it. Distort your reality, to take your body, then they're going to take your mind. And I speculated in a prior video about a week ago that they're going to sell your mind, that they're going to take it and put you in a new avatar body, whether it be, I presume, is going to be in another planet, if it's not already there. I think that's what's happening, because they want, see, there's a limited number of souls, but they require more souls in another location. Because, see, your body, if you just remove people from the planet, destroy them, they're just going to be recycled. So why the rush to do all this? Why? Because if nothing is ever really created or destroyed, why go through all this hassle to try to remove people? Well, if you remove a lot of them, then you can take it and sell it somewhere else. And I think maybe that's where maybe the Aladdin's lamp comes from. You notice the Aladdin's lamp is in what's that, a bronze, looks like a lamp. Why? And then you rub it and rub it. Well, we know that when you rub things, that it builds up energy. So what is this? What is this Aladdin? And why is it now they have the person painted blue, but we all know when they make it something a dark blue color, it's really a symbol for the African race. What is the significance of that? You rub on, oh, you can make three wishes. Why was that? Where does that come from? And why did they make it that color? You have to ask yourself. The Aladdin in the lamp is a slave that does everything you ask them to. Okay, three witches. I mean, you heard a Freudian slip there. I said witches. I mean, three wishes. That is funny. Yes, I meant to say, oh, um, brother said, I'm getting tired, I guess. That is so funny. But anyway, yes. So, why this secretiveness about African culture? You know, the in the Americas, well, I should say in the United States, you have such a large population of people of African ancestry here. But you know, in history class, they never discuss Africa or the where the people came from that were brought here from Africa to the Americas during the human trafficking of us. Why don't they want you to know about your culture, your history? Why is that? These are questions that you should start asking yourself. Why, when they have open up big businesses, these financial companies like the one that I worked for before, why don't they want to invest in Africa? That is an appointing question. I think it would be a very insightful answer. I mean, be really provocative answer. Start asking these questions. What do they want to hide? If it's all about colonialism, why aren't they just flocking over there to live? Why did they come to America instead to live? And then the many of the people were genocided, you know, the indigenous population. Why? Why couldn't they just do the same thing over there in Africa? Well, see, I think Africa is really off limits. Something, I'm speculating, but something else lives and controls that continent. And so I don't think they have the authority to do any real business there. I mean, sure, there are businesses there in Africa, but it is obscured from the masses of people. They don't want you to know. They don't want to teach any of their languages. Having black baby, a male black baby, again, is to make you think that they're not important. Well, they are important. And this should be proof enough to let you know that you're so valuable that the system wants to go out of the way to show that you're nobody. But you're everything and more. Always remember that. You are everything and some. Learn about these places. I mean, if I were younger or something, but still, what is going on? Maybe with all the what's happening now, well, someone is controlling Africa, and someone is making money off of that continent. But it's something they want hidden from the masses. So you should make every interest initiatives to find out about it. What is the secret? Why don't they want you to move there? Why? I think the answer is on who these people are. Someone else is in charge. Someone else is in charge. They can only do so much. So they use false information to not even want to know about Africa. That's what they're doing. Say, well, if we can't find out about you, you're not going to find out about yourself either. So it's to minimize your knowledge about there. Everything they have is about lying about something else. Well, the truth too is inside of you. Start looking within and start asking yourself questions and find out what's going on. What is going on for you to not be told what the significance of doing a particular thing? Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, viewer. I don't even know how to pronounce your avatar name, but thank you for that. There is more to life than you could imagine. And I think now that the system, well, they're not sane. They are insane, the people, totally insane, and now they're not making sense. You think the leaders that are in office now, they're making sense? Is our leader up here in office, are they really coherent? Are they doing things without logic? This is what wants to control you. Something that's irrational, something that says that someone born in a colored, brown skinned people are white people. That's what they define Egyptians. Now, again, I've been there and I saw what the people look like, the masses of people. They are distorting truth. Why do they need to distort truth? Because they want you to believe a certain narrative that is beyond reality. It's lying about reality. And it's a way, when something's hiding, being hidden, there's a reason why it's being hidden, because they don't want you to ask questions and they don't want you to know anything outside of the narrative. So they do that in order to control. That is the name of the game. And they're not friends of anybody either. They could attempt to try to befriend you, but they don't even love themselves. The system that's doing this, they don't even love themselves. They're actually jealous of us. But stand in good courage. Because see, if I believe that if you stand firm on your tuition and what feels right to you, it's a price to pay. It's always a price to pay. And they don't live that long. The system that's trying to overthrow humanity, they really don't have any power. Their power comes from distorting truth and from withholding information. So I'm telling you all that are listening, you need to educate about those things that they want you to, when they send out disinformation about you, you'll know what the truth is. Then you'll be able to take more control over your life. Yeah, what you see happening is a fear tactic because you have different things that are in power. and they want to control. So, blackness, what is blackness? Blackness is everything that is the parent organization, it is the source of life. And just because something is black, that you're not to pervert the light also. Both of them are important. Both factions are important. It's just you have to find a balance. Find out what's above, what's across the ocean. Find out. Find out about the different countries. Because I have a feeling there are things there that they want to hold back on. Even the technologies over to visit certain places. So, yes, let me go. Let me go. I'm getting very tired right now. Yes, reality is more than when you think. They want to keep you in darkness, perform a new reality, and then control your soul and spirit. Africa is another continent like many other continents. It has its history like every other continent, but they don't want you to know anything outside of the narrative of that special continent. So know the truth. Ask yourself what's being hidden. Why is it being hidden? So, with that last note, I thank you for listening. I hope you got something out of it. I hope I made sense. I was starting to get real tired there for a moment. But yes, the importance of darkness is that it defines light. It is the nurturer of all life. It's all that and more. So know for you that you're an important being that goes far beyond your so called race. Your importance is in your essence. So, with that last note, I thank you all for listening, and I hope I made a lot of sense. So, thank you again. Thank you very much. Peace, love, joy, and power to all of you. Oh, I see more people just come on. Yes, you'll be able to go to the beginning of the video and watch. So take care and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye bye.